Hi, and welcome.
I'm Z.
And I'm Keith.
And we're going to tell you about the movie that we just watched. But first, a little bit of a heads up.
Some of the movies we watch deal with heavy subject matters.
In order to talk about these emotionally delicate things and the heavy subject matters that we sometimes cover, we had humor and crude language to add some levity and to process our own trauma.
If that doesn't feel fun or safe for you, we completely understand. Please take care of yourself first and foremost.
And we spoil the end of pretty much every movie that we watch.
Now you know. On with the show. Of the cables, Hachimachi.
Yeah.
We entreat thee.
What?
We entreat thee. Bless these electrons.
What was this movie called again?
The End of Violence.
The End of... Oh my God. Literally blank. You watched a...
I've said it so many times in the last 48 hours.
You just watched a Bill Pullman thing where it was just naming every Bill Pullman movie.
Yeah, right.
And then you were like talking about Paris, Texas and The Last Picture Show. You just named so many movies that I was like, I don't know what.
That's fair. It's more than fair. Bing bong. It looked like you turned the mic off while it was away from your face and then back on once you were chewing.
Incorrect.
Shout out to Chips.
Yeah.
Which I have to say Sven turned me on to because when I was over there he had a fried dill pickle Utz chip, and it was probably my favorite dill chip.
I'm going to tell you something. And I believe I've said it before, and you're going to be like, really?
Thanks, I hate it.
I don't really like Ripple chips.
Yeah, they're not my go-to. I like them for, here's the thing, inexplicably.
Tell me.
It's basically sour cream and cheddar is the only Ripple the only flavor for which Ripple feels correct.
See, sour cream and onion are my favorite kind of chip. So in Ripple form, they're like kind of my least favorite. But I think I agree with you. Yeah, the cheddar.
Sorry.
That's fine. I don't mean least
like
favorite.
Like cheddar sour cream on a flat chip?
Yeah, it doesn't have the same. Yeah. You need the thickness for some reason. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I don't know what's with me, but I've been really craving like a plain potato chip, no flavoring.
What's your name? What's your childhood name for?
When I was a kid, I called them the very eloquent and succinct name of greasy yellow potato chip.
Yeah.
That, and not a greasy
AKA,
yellow chip. I wanted greasy yellow potato chips. Like it was the whole. I don't know why.
And there's no doubt about that. That's just a Lay's classic potato chip.
It's 100%.
There's no other chip that could be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're talking about that one movie that we watched.
What'd you think?
The End of Violence. I think I don't like Wim Wenders very much.
I think I watched Until the End of the World once.
Yeah. I watched it at a very not
great
good time.
Yeah.
With people that were about to literally make me homeless. So I don't like it that much. But
otherwise I don't he did Buena Vista Social Club? Right after this, basically.
I don't know that I've seen that.
I don't know if I've seen it either, but you remember what a sensation it was.
I don't know.
It's a documentary about a Cuban
I have no idea.
group of musicians.
And I feel like I've heard people mention it, but I have no idea. I never knew what it was.
Oh, God. It was fucking huge. Came out in 1999, and it blew up. So much so that when I was in Mexico, how many years later? 2003, I think? A woman who was in the documentary was performing at a festival that I went to, and they were still touting it as like, you know her from this. I mean, she was great, and
yeah,
so was her band, and definitely deserved. And she was like 80, you know? Anyway.
That's cool.
That's also, because of that movie, I think it was the first time I started hearing the name Ry Cooder, which is just a great name.
Yeah.
Because he was like musical director on that.
On account of my Ry Cooder.
Yeah. And he did the soundtrack for this film.
Yeah.
The weird-ass soundtrack.
Yeah.
The music's not that weird. It's just how it's handled is really...
Yeah.
I mean, to its credit, it's different than any other movie I've seen, I think. It does a thing where it really... You can't tell if it's supposed to be diegetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it definitely... I feel like it purposefully switches.
Yeah.
Like it'll start as though it's on the radio.
Yeah.
And then it's... Nope, it's just...
Yeah.
Just characters' dialogue.
Yeah.
What?
Violence is dead.
No. See, let me tell you something, friend. Violence is bigger than ever. You see, I mean, little baby white girls be piercing every floppy piece of skin. They got cream in every flavor of gangster, man. Pretty soon, records just gonna have the sound of gunshots on them, man. And everywhere you look, billboards got some big ass movie star holding some big ass gun. Let me tell you something, motherfucker. Violence rules, man. Violence is flip. You don't like it, you can run with the nuns. It is here, it is now, and 6 is on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does some interesting things.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I feel like, oh, yeah, this is why this movie stuck with me and why I can't say what I thought of it at the time. I still don't know what I think of it.
Yeah, right.
It feels almost great to me. Like, it almost feels like it's really close to doing something interesting.
Right. Really close to being interested in this. No, yeah. I mean, I was paying attention throughout the whole thing. You were like, I'm worried you're bored, and I was just like patiently waiting for something to happen. You know.
Mm-hmm. You wait for an attack.
Yeah.
And when it comes, it's not from who you thought. And then when your enemies do attack, it frees you.
The thing is, it kind of like has all the elements of things I really like.
That's what I mean.
And yet I'm like, you know.
Like all the... Yeah.
All
the espionage shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is too backgrounded.
Yeah.
Somehow, or too vague.
Mm-hmm.
To be compelling.
Yeah, I felt like it did. It felt like it was. I mean, I know this is not necessarily what it's doing because you said like Wim Wenders is German, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Best parts were Udo Kier. In my opinion.
The guy just went for a piss before the killer comes in. I mean, why I do make films in America? I should have stayed in Europe. I mean,
what a treasure.
I feel like there were elements that reminded me of Hartley.
Yeah, right.
In how the dialogue was very awkward at times and not.
I especially felt that about the movie within the movie.
Yeah.
When they're shooting the scenes for Violence, the film.
Yeah, for sure.
And the only trivia, every single thing you read about this that you can find, that I could find, which is like very few, it's like, oh, you know that this movie contains a real life reproduction of Nightbirds by Yeah, no shit. Could it be more obvious?
Right. And but it was like, it wasn't.
Night Hawks? I'm not even sure what it is.
I was like,
that famous painting.
yeah, I know. But it wasn't like, I was like, it reminds me of Hartley, but it's like missing the point of a Hartley because something comes of the dialogue, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem to happen in this. I couldn't understand what a lot of people were saying a lot of the times.
That too.
The Gabriel Byrne's dad in the movie.
Ooh.
No idea. I was like, is that man suffering aphasia? Because I do not know what he's supposed to be saying. What does he say? He says like, pourquoi or...
What's the matter? There's nothing the matter.
Dad, I have a problem, and
Shoot.
people are being killed.
Pourquoi?
Pourquoi?
Only the most, not even in English, and it was the most I understood that man.
Right.
I was like,
Right.
I don't know. And it was so stressful. And also, it was the same scene. They were wearing the same exact clothes, eating the same exact food in every single, and it was split up throughout the entire movie. And I'm like, when are we?
And also, what did those scenes do other
Nothing.
than
Fucking yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't. You don't laugh at the absurdity because it's unsettling.
Yeah.
Because, and so there's not like it's missing. It felt like it was like, I don't know. I was just like, what is going on? And so many, everything that happened. Like my favorite part was when you said something and you were like, oh yes, this same footage that we've seen makes things so clear or something like that. You said some sarcastic comment when Gabriel Byrne was like looking at the satellite footage.
Yeah,
it's like
right.
I had no idea what I'm supposed to have
I know,
seen.
yeah.
And they
When
don't
he
make it clear.
sneaks the laptop out, takes it to his dad's, and then watches the same thing that we watched him. We already saw him watch.
Right.
And he's like, and that's the whole scene.
Yes.
He opens it, watches the footage, closes it.
And the thing about that is, I'm like, how did he get that onto his personal, like, none of it makes any sense. I
will say, though, I thought I was very impressed, especially at the beginning, at the technology that is present, because it goes so hard. Mm-hmm. And it's 1997. That shit had to be cutting edge. He's at his fucking ergo desk with a laptop where he's video calling.
Yeah.
He's on a video call with Rosalind Chao.
Yeah.
And then Andie MacDowell calls him on the cordless phone from the house after he's done a cell phone call with somebody in Japan, right?
Yeah. The ergo. Oh wait, ergo desk. Yeah, that's what you mean.
And then Gabriel Byrne's ergo keyboard.
That's what I thought you were referencing. I'm like, those are yeah. I like the.
They're watching us.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, sorry. I was in my own I was having a thought. I don't even know what it's.
Yeah.
I don't even know. And I don't even know.
What's always great too is when you have a European director writing for black characters. It's always going to go well.
Mm-hmm. The scene where the girl does the poem or like the spoken word thing. It sounded like, because you were like, what the fuck did she say when like the other girl walks up to her? I don't know if this is actually what she said. How did you know my dad or something like that?
No. What I heard was, I never knew my father.
Oh, okay.
But.
Yeah. I think it was something like, yeah, how did you know my father? Like, did you know?
Those scenes never explained what that place is or what that scenario is. But we do see, oh shit, I forgot her name. The white girl.
Yeah.
I want to say Candy. That's not right.
Something Carr or something.
Cat,
Cindy
maybe?
Carr or something.
Oh, Traci Lind is the actress.
Oh.
She's there. Six does it. Spoken word. Which Andie MacDowell is there to watch.
Also, his name is 6 of 1.
I thought it was just 601.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is 601.
Do you think
What?
he was a secret Borg?
Yeah, I was like, what?
I mean, 601 is probably an area code.
That's fine.
Did you ever think of that? Just what a great character he is.
Oh my God.
His sunglasses really sell it. Yeah, so I'm not even sure that I followed the plot.
Right.
I mean, Pullman is a producer
Right.
of this movie being shot called Violence.
Yeah.
Udo Kier is the director, apparently.
Apparently.
Zoltan Tybor
Oh my God.
is what the chair said.
Oh my God.
Zoltan Tybor, which I'm assuming is a Hungarian, would be a Hungarian name. Anyway, Eastern Europeans get at us. And there's, I didn't really follow because who cares? But like in the opening, when he's talking to Rosalind Chao, like the whole thing is like,
You have an email from the FBI.
well, that, but I mean, the whole thing about like the money and like you can sue, but you won't win.
Yeah. I know. I know.
So, point being, I guess the production is in jeopardy
Yeah. I don't know.
because of that. Rosalind Chao, who's his assistant, is like, by the way, somebody dropped a 400-page FBI file in your email.
Yeah. That whole
Did you label it FBI file?
Yes, it was. It
I know.
literally says
When we finally see him check his email.
I think it says 400-page FBI file. I think that's what it's called. I'm like, what? Like, that's why I was like, I can't take this seriously.
I know.
There.
Meanwhile, we see Gabriel Byrne hiking through the Hollywood hills to get to Griffith Observatory, which
Where he's
turns out to not be a telescope, but a secret surveillance monitoring station.
cool in concept. Also, like, the cleaning crew and him lived there or something. I don't understand what was going on. I did not understand what was going on.
Look, again, this is like
I feel like that's a very Vin Vendors thing, is like wherever someone is like just that's you don't see them outside of that. And so you'll just have like really weird thing, like I don't know. Like I'm like, this feels whatever. Anyway.
This is how it's like how I felt about Nocturnal Creatures or whatever that was called, where this is the most generous. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that he's doing it, because there's a movie within the movie. There's commentaries about Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So I assume that we're doing Hollywood tropes on purpose.
I guess. Yeah.
So Gabriel Byrne hooking up with Matilda or whatever her name is was so gross. But I feel like, okay, well, that's something that would happen in a Hollywood movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that why we're doing it?
Yeah. Right.
I didn't give a I didn't give a shit about any of the stuff between the detective and I gotta look up her name.
By the way, I love you. Is it Cheryl or something?
No, it's like one syllable.
Oh, it's like
Yeah, it's Cat.
cat. Okay.
Didn't give a shit about any of that.
No.
I don't know why it was
By the way, I love you or whatever.
shoehorned in. Her character, I legitimately thought she was two different characters for a second because I couldn't tell if because when she gets injured, then they're like, oh, let's try out the stunt woman. So
Yeah.
I didn't know if she was the person we saw in the opening scene or the stunt woman who replaced her.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, is that what was going on?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. She was...
But I guess she's a stunt woman because
Yeah.
when they're in the bar or whatever,
Yeah.
he's like...
And in case you haven't noticed, I'm not exactly the stupid actress who stands at the edge of the cliff screaming for help.
No. You're the stupid stunt woman that jumps off the cliff.
Right. Yeah. I read another trivia. You probably saw this one. That, like, after the Cannes
Oh, yeah, after he showed
Film
it at
Festival,
Cannes.
he re-edited the
Yeah.
movie to have a more of a narrative structure. And I'm like, more? This
Right.
is more? I have no idea what's going on. And I think that's something that, like, this is, okay. This is something I both enjoy about 90s cinema
Yeah.
and can get really irate about.
Yeah.
It's like, it has to be done in the right way, or you're just a white dude
Yeah.
making,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
if you can't figure out a way to, like, if you're like, because it like, there's things, okay, so, like, there are things that you could argue are, like, about technology,
Yes.
and that's always going to come out, it's always going to seem dated,
Yes.
because, especially in the 90s, because tech was changing so rapidly.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason,
So many movies loved to do it in
right.
the 90s as well.
And this is one of the reasons why I love when people don't try to date their technology,
Right.
but instead confuse you with their technology. Like, make things both look...
Once again, It Follows.
Yes. It Follows is a good example of this. Eye of the Beholder is a good example of this, where it's like tech where they're using 1950s
It's almost
TVs.
steampunky.
Right, almost, but
Right,
not quite.
right.
Like, they're, it's like all the technology.
By which I mean there's like, it's, what's the word? Anachronistic.
Yeah, correct.
An anachronistic combination of
Yes.
things.
So they're doing things with technology that they shouldn't be able to. And it makes
Right,
it very
right.
interesting because you're like, I don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Then, great.
Archer.
Yes. Never dates it. Perfect. You don't know when this is supposed to be. It doesn't state when it's supposed to be. Excellent. But when things go too hard on trying to make things seem futuristic, especially in the 90s,
Yeah.
when it wasn't set in the future, so
Right.
it wasn't like everything was like this, unless you're going so big that you're making it if you're just having things in there, like he has TVs everywhere in this room.
Yeah.
It's a very cool setup. Love it. He's got this fucking wand, that he's doing, that he's like,
Oh, you mean the joystick?
yeah. What is, no idea.
Just to control
Love
the
it.
camera?
Love it. Different cameras. He's just like clicking through
I
and
know,
then
yeah.
controlling them all. Love it. Wonderful. Doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Love it. But then it's like, you're getting emails that are titled 400-page FBI file. And I'm like, that's lazy. That's fucking lazy. It's not code. There's no code. There's nothing. You're very lazily.
That had to be intentional though, right? Like,
right, that's what I mean.
Okay. Whoops.
You going poopy pee-pee?
I do got a pee-pee.
So, okay, sorry. What do you mean you wash your hair twice instead of 4 times?
Pump, lather, rinse. That's one.
So you used to do that 4 times in one shower?
When it got long, before you cut it, yeah.
Why?
Because that's how many times it took to feel like it was clean.
Oh, okay. You're supposed to concentrate on your roots only when you shampoo, right?
What does that mean? Why?
Because that's where the oil comes from.
Okay.
4 times is excessive. You do not have more hair than me. In one shower? That's crazy. I just put shampoo in my hair until, I mean, I guess we just do it differently. I don't rinse. I just keep putting shampoo in my hair until it feels clean. And
the longer it gets, I have to do it multiple times to feel like I'm getting to my scalp.
gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. So I like how I was like, what do you mean? And you're like, you're recording.
I thought you had started. I didn't care. I didn't want to air our dirty laundry. That's not what this podcast is about.
That's all this podcast is about. Where's my other?
Did you say Palestine? Because if so, that's anti-Semitic. Apparently, AIPAC has spent more money than it ever has to try to unseat Jamal Bowman.
Who's that?
Congressperson who's been outspoken. I mean, he sometimes gets lumped in with the squad.
Okay. Crazy.
But, yeah, because he was, I don't even know what he said, but something
insane.
Criticizing Israel.
Fucking insane.
Anywho.
Yeah, cool. So my point is that if the 400-page FBI whatever email, if that's intentional, then it's like, then it feels like it's sort of like, I don't know. I'm like, what are you, like, I know that you liked it. I fucking hated the ergonomical chair that he was in. It was just very clearly an exercise chair.
I thought it was hilarious.
I just
enjoyed how hard they went on that kind of shit. I mean, that's the kind of trappings that a rich white person would do. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess
that's why I thought it was funny.
I just don't understand why it was outside.
Well, this is a trope that movies loved to do. At least starting in the 80s, of a rich person. You know they're rich because they can conduct their business in their backyard.
Yeah.
Poolside.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, too, that he's having...
Usually with the hot wife in the pool while they're on the phone.
I understand the need to set up the gardeners. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand that. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's choosing to be outside, conducting his important business while they're literally blowing leaves in his face. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand. I'm like, why?
I thought it was hilarious because it seems so accurate. You know? And I thought that was the point of those factors, was to show how ridiculous it is.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But again, I can't tell. This is the thing. I can't tell if I'm giving him credit that he doesn't deserve, you know?
I feel like you are.
I don't know if he's Verhoeven level of, you know, satire or whatever you call it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the level of which people didn't know showgirls.
Right. Yeah. Like, but I think that's...
me included.
I think that's the thing where it's like, I'm like, it doesn't land enough to feel intentional.
Right. Well, and especially when it's, you know, put next to scenes that are seemingly done sincerely, which feel extremely pretentious.
Right, exactly. And like, I really like the
all the poetry.
Yes.
Any of the poetry.
Oh my God. And the fact that the main people doing the poetry were like black people. I'm like, okay. And they're all like, it's all about, you know, abuse and shit like that. And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
What are you doing here?
Yep.
What are you doing? It's weird. It's weird. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't really. It didn't hit the nail on the head of the mark for me.
On the donkey.
Of the donkey. It didn't hit the head of the tail on the mark of the donkey. enough for me.
Yeah. And I think I assume that's, again, maybe giving him a pass when he doesn't deserve one, but like, maybe it wasn't made for American audiences in mind, even though it's set, you know what I mean?
But
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
think that's definitely giving him too much credit.
Well, I don't know.
Feels like
this movie apparently had a budget of $5 million and
No.
made $300,000.
It's because it's not good.
I'm sorry which means I'm in rare company in that I saw it in a theater.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry my $550 of hard-earned Pell Grant money didn't put you over, bro.
Oh my god. Fucking it feels the parts I don't enjoy about it feel Lynchian to me. Mm-hmm. And I don't enjoy Lynch.
Right.
For the reason of I'm like, you're trying too hard. And that's what it feels like. It feels like because it could be it's a thing.
Yeah.
Where
white man contemplating.
Right. It's like when everything was taken away, I was set free. I'm like, fucking shut up. Like that idealization of no longer having to worry because you don't have responsibilities, but not really addressing any of the financial issues that would come from it or any of the things that would come from that. And there's probably something you could do more closely in the 90s without the big gap, but like
right.
Overall, like it just seems like a misunderstanding of like what struggle is. Mm-hmm. And misunderstanding what success and money means to someone in this country. Like,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like a very white-centered, a very like white Eurocentric sort of like to be free is to just live on the beach and like not think about anything. And then you're like, but you have to have money in order to be able to be that free. Like you can't do that. Like because, it's like there's this fantasy of like, I don't know, whatever. I can go on a rant forever. Sorry. There's aspects of like tragedy and pain that white people will try to paint, and everybody in this movie that's like going through something awful or experiencing something awful is not white.
Yeah.
Everybody that's, like the fucking girl that has like scars all over her, like the black girl that's talking about being like, essayed by her dad as a kid.
Yeah.
All this shit, like these are just like projected onto people of color.
Yeah.
And the white people are the people who are going to save everyone.
Struggling with being taken seriously for their art.
Yeah, right. And you're like, what the fuck? So it was hard to like understand the point of a lot of it because it seemed like, like the whole thing with like Gabriel Byrne's character not agreeing with what they were doing.
Yeah. Suddenly? Like, because...
And sending a 400-page FBI file to
how many pages?
A movie producer.
That he met at a technology conference.
Oh, my God.
And they liked each other.
It's too much.
Did they fucking hook up? Like,
I know. That's the thing. I'm like, if it was gay, I would be like, oh, this is all code. This must be really smart. But it's not. I miss Pride Month. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I mean, I always do. I always get a little sad when it's not June anymore. But also, I hate.
We prayed it away. For once, thoughts and prayers
worked.
30,
I said,
30 solid days of...
Dear Lord, make me a bird so I can fly into July.
I'll fly away.
Fuck off. Yeah.
This...
Tell me why did you want to pick this one and what stood out for you?
Well, I sort of already hinted at this, just that it had stuck with me after I saw it at the time.
Yeah.
I said in the lobby that the two things I remembered about it were that Pullman goes on the lam, hanging out with a Latine family.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't say this explicitly because you just were determined to not let me, but the tape recorder performance.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that stuck with me.
Right. Yeah.
Me.
Animals on wheels faster all the time.
And, that I had an unresolved feeling.
Yeah.
I was like, is this good?
Yeah,
Couldn't
yeah.
tell.
Right.
So that's why. And I've never heard anybody talk about it.
Right. Yeah, I'd never heard of it. I kept thinking you were talking about a history.
$300,000.
I kept thinking you were talking about a history of violence, and I'm like, I don't want to watch that again, actually, but thank you. Viggo Mortensen, Ed Harris, Maria.
See, I've never heard of that either, except from you saying it every time I bring up this movie. I did not remember Bill Pullman was such a big part of this movie.
Nice.
When I saw it, I didn't know Gabriel Byrne. I knew Andie MacDowell, certainly. I had a huge crush on her as a kid.
Yeah.
I would not have known Udo Kier. I doubt I recognized Rosalind Chao.
Yeah.
When did Joey Luck come out?
That, like 92 or something like that.
Okay.
That's the one we should do.
Yeah, we should. Is Lucy Liu in that, or am I being racist?
Nope. You're being racist.
I didn't think so.
Andrew McCarthy's in it, though.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Is he a boyf or something?
Yeah. No, he's one of their Asian dads.
Oh. He could do it.
Someone was making fun of I saw someone, and I feel bad that I didn't think about it first, but it's very funny. Someone was saying, I didn't do it in the lobby yesterday, so I got to make up for it today. I literally
Yawning?
have tears pouring down my face from yawning. But someone was saying that Andrew McCarthy, they were like, it's so embarrassing to watch because they were like, he wasn't even mentioned really in the article at all, and he's making it all about him and like
I know.
the seriousness.
I had that thought.
I was like, I liked it. But I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point. I mean, the whole point of it is that it actually wasn't that big of a deal, and they all took it so fucking seriously, and it like fucked up everybody's career and like threw a wrench in everything because they were so upset by it.
Z here is referring to the Brat Pack documentary
called
by
Brat.
Andrew. What's it called?
Brats.
Not to be confused with the.
Not to be confused
dolls.
with Brats.
Yeah, right. We should do an unmentionable.
Yeah, we should.
I mean, it's maybe too late, but.
I mean, I enjoy Andrew McCarthy. It's so embarrassing. It's one that I'm like, no, I'm over that. But anytime I see him in something, I'm like, oh my God. I don't know what it is. He's just,
Not since you took a, let's see, Parks and Rec community painting class has the denim button down been so represented.
Oh man, you were like, not since Parks and Recs and Community, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I was like, what do these shows have to do with anything?
Not since you went shopping at a superstore.
I was like, what? I'm like, you were more into Community than I was.
Office.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, man.
Community is one that, like, I watched the few seasons that I could on Canadian Netflix when a VPN still worked on Netflix for the short time that it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because then it stopped and then we got another one and then it worked again. Whatever. And I watched like, I don't know, 3-4 seasons of, and I was like, all right. And then I was like, there's more seasons. I was like, I'm not.
Yeah. I don't know why I got.
And people are so into, and I'm like, that's cool. That's great. That's wonderful. I don't care that much.
Yeah, no. I mean, clearly it had a moment and it helped the careers of people like Gillian.
It's not Anderson.
Right.
Yeah.
Presumably, I don't know. She hasn't been in that many things since. I guess she was in that.
She's been in a few things.
And Kim Jong.
Yeah.
David Rash or whatever his name. I don't know what he's been up to. He played the dean.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can't read that. I don't know why I'm trying to. It's so dark in here. Yeah. But why did you say, did you answer both questions?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought I did.
Okay. I couldn't remember. Sorry.
Well, then.
That's my fault. I'm not saying it's not my fault.
I'm sorry. Okay?
Why are you sorry?
I'm sorry. I chose this movie.
No. I did not enjoy watching it. It's just that it didn't really, I felt like it had a lot of potential.
Right.
And then it just fizzled out. And I really, honestly, even if it had ended without, like, just the way that it did, if it hadn't had the fucking stupid ass voiceover at the end where he's like, it wasn't until I lost it all.
I know.
And I was like, oh no, this makes it cheaper. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
I probably cared more about Gabriel Byrne's character than anything, which is surprising because he had very little dialogue. But I love me some Gabriel Byrne. I don't know what that man has over me, but it's something. I think it's just his sad, weird Irish voice, whatever. He just looks
He's
like...
no Stephen Ray.
It's true. He doesn't look like somebody's old dog that they kicked in the face multiple times for it to look like that. But like Stephen Ray is one of those where I've always like not been attracted to him, but I'm like, am I attracted to him? Because he has the face of someone that is not attractive enough for me to not be attracted to them. You know what I mean? If you're too attractive, then I just can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh. There's too much. If you're too, I'm like, ugh. There has to be something about you that's a little weird or off. Maybe it's that you're gay. Maybe you have crooked teeth. Maybe it's that you, I don't know, are just weird. That's fine. So I don't know which one of those is Gabriel Byrne, but he's one of those. He doesn't have, I don't think he has crooked teeth, but he might as well have. He's got a fucking accent though. What is it? I
assumed he was doing an American accent.
I'm sure
he was doing an American accent.
I mean like in anything ever.
No.
Like
his
actual,
his natural accent is weird.
He's Irish?
Right.
Really? You sure about that? Yeah.
I know.
Have you listened to yourself talk? Where else have you lived? Because it's not anywhere I've heard of. Gabriel Byrne, I need you to talk to me right now and tell me these things. Can you imagine? I would say this is the thing that's mortifying. If I was on a roll and Gabriel Byrne, if someone carted Gabriel Byrne in, I would just start going to ham on him. I'd be like, where are you from, Mr. What the fuck is your accent? I would just like ream him, and then I would be like, why am I like that? Why am I?
And you'd leave, and you'd have to go into a closet
and cry, like that one Halloween.
I wasn't referring to that specifically, but was a knot?
Your fucking eye roll. Look. It wasn't not. Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know how to feel about, like, and this is where you know it's not an American director.
Yeah.
For better and worse.
Yeah.
Like, it's how people of color are treated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there is a certain amount of respect given
Yeah.
that you wouldn't see from an American director.
Yeah, I guess
Seemingly.
that's fair.
Like, the families that he stays with, like, I
Right.
feel like that's seems like a pretty fair representation.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not me, it's not my lived experience, so I don't know.
Right, he doesn't make them like, they kind of adopt Pullman as their own.
Yeah.
And just, yeah. And they know his secret or whatever,
Right.
and they don't care. So that, yeah. It's not anything
And he works
negative.
for them. So.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. The idea that
I know.
this big movie producer
I know. Could.
has such a life change because he almost gets killed by
Yeah.
Pruitt Taylor Vince and John Diehl that / the surveillance state.
Yeah.
That he is now able to be fine being a landscape.
Yeah. And I think that's something that I
leaf
didn't.
blower.
There's any of the questions aren't answered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not this.
Well, I think the movie thinks it answers them. I
Like,
just don't know, and I
right.
don't care really enough
Yeah.
to go back to figure out
Right.
why he was trying to be killed.
Right. It makes sense.
Because the movie was failing?
Yeah, I don't know. I have
Who are
no
the
idea.
enemies he's referring to in this final voiceover?
Yeah,
that-
right.
When they finally come?
Right.
I don't...
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I was so paranoid. You were?
I know.
We didn't get that from you.
Everyone says they're paranoid in this movie. Gabriel
Yeah.
Byrne says he's paranoid.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that makes sense, because he's...
Right.
What?
I mean, it's definitely an interesting.
I thought it was... It builds a tension that...
Ooh.
There were several times watching this movie where I had to say to myself, if this was movie from 60s, would I feel the same way?
Oh, God. If it was a movie from the 60s, I would just be making fun of it a lot. Sorry.
I know. You would have just self-mutilated or something.
I think you mean emulated, but.
No, but you know that when I remember to do it, this is an exercise I will do. Because, I first noticed it about myself when getting into Star Trek, where I noticed I had a more critical, analytical lens watching the original series versus The Next Generation.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I just chalked it up to because I grew up, TNG was on, I was contemporary with it. So
Yeah.
more things are hidden.
Yeah. I see.
Because there's not that distance of
Yeah.
time. I didn't live through this time.
Right.
I mean, not only did I watch TNG when it was broadcast,
Right,
we're
it's-
from the
right.
same time.
Right.
So,
Right.
I could have been from the 60s and not have watched the original series.
Yeah. For sure.
But both,
Yeah.
I think, makes it, you have more to overcome to get to a critical,
Yeah.
especially as a young person.
Yeah. Yeah.
You learn things afterwards that you then have to go back.
Right.
I didn't have that with the original series, so I didn't have to overcome as much.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
sure I saw original series as a young person, but
Right.
you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'll watch a movie from the 70s that's like some weird, The Killer Elite is a ridiculous movie, but it is so fun.
Yeah.
And, there's hardly any black folks in it, and I'm sure if who there are, they probably get shot, within the first 10 minutes. It's not great on
Yeah.
those things, so. But I will praise it.
Yeah.
Because it was the 70s, and so I don't hold to the same standards.
I
right?
gotcha. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's correct.
No, for sure. Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I was thinking several times during this movie, because especially when it came to the weird shadow state shit
Yeah.
with the bald dude.
Yeah.
Just like I kind of love how that was unexplained. How unexplained that was. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
And I really liked the scene where it didn't make any sense. But at the end there, when Matilda and Pullman happen to be at the pier at the same time, when she's like, "You're just going to have to shoot me in the back." And she starts walking down the stairs. And the guy's like, "Matilda." And she turns around and she's like walking.
Yeah.
I like that. That felt like an old movie. Like I don't know. That felt like a very cinematic.
Yeah.
And then it's just.
Yeah.
The daughter runs over and then I guess she doesn't get killed then.
Exactly.
So
she's like,
it's
"Oh,
fine.
my kid's here, so you won't shoot me in front of all these people because my kid's here." Like,
Right.
what the fuck? What?
No, none of it.
I like how they have a full gun, but it's got a silencer, so no one will see it. It's pulling a full gun out of. Oh my God. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Is this something that you feel you would recommend? For the listeners out there, Keith has shrugged twice.
Yeah. I gave a double shrug.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely recommend a lot of other things first,
For sure.
You know how I hedge. I always hedge when you ask me this.
Yeah. And
Because-
yet, every time.
I think you could do worse.
Yeah.
I think there's some interesting moments. Overall, I don't know what it's saying.
Yeah, right.
And I think it's very confused. I think it maybe couldn't decide what it was trying to say.
Yeah.
When I can tell a movie is trying to say something, I will give it a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
Even if I don't necessarily, even if I don't necessarily agree.
Yeah.
Unless it's a very offensive message, But
Yeah.
it feels like it wanted us to think about surveillance.
Yeah.
And this feels like a very 90s paranoia. Mm-hmm. And justified.
Yeah, for
Clearly,
sure.
given where we are today.
Yeah.
None of the things you see in there are shocking now.
Yeah.
It's standard.
Yeah.
The fact, what's shocking about it is how little he can see.
Right. Yeah. What's funny, it makes me think of like Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
The first Charlie's Angels.
Right.
The whole thing is that
Oh, right.
they're trying to keep this software from being implemented that would make everyone trackable via their cell phone.
Right.
And they're like, that's so dangerous. And that's what they're trying to keep it. Literally.
And which
not
is the Dark Knight, too, where he does it. He's like, it's a dangerous thing, but it's worth it this one time.
I don't remember. I haven't seen any of those in so long. I don't remember anything about
I
them.
watched it with you.
We watched The Dark Knight Rises together, and I don't think that's
I can't
about.
keep them apart.
That one's the one with Bane.
Oh, yeah, right. Anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the same thing. And you're like,
Yeah.
and whichever Batman movie that is will be even later. That would be in the aughts. And Charlie's Angels was late 90s, right? The first one?
Yes.
Which also shares Griffith Observatory with this
Yes.
movie.
Does it? No, that's the Charlie's Angels 2, I think.
I thought it was the one where they battle Demi Moore.
That's 2.
It is?
Yes.
Oh. Really?
She's not in the first one at all.
Oh.
Bill Murray is.
I know.
Sorry. I didn't know that was hard for me.
Mostly I'm just sad about Bernie Mac. watching us.